Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, as you can see, I am back home for the holidays and figured I might as well take advantage of having a camera available and a little bit more official of a recording setup than just my college dorm room. So don't get too used to it, but for today's video and probably tomorrow's video, we're going to be using the face cam and just see how it goes. But let's get right into today's topic, which is going to be the average net worth by age for an individual in 2024. So stay tuned to see how you compare to your peers. Now, the first step to knowing how you might compare to your peers is to know your net worth. And so if you don't know how to find that out, the basic definition is going to be assets versus liabilities. And as you can see on your screen right now, there is a super convenient calculator that Dave Ramsey created. I'm sure there's other websites too, but this is the one that I like to use because it's super quick and super easy. You can see on the left side here, we have our assets, real estate, checking account, savings, investments. And on the right side, we have our liabilities, which is going to be our loans, our debts, stuff like that would subtract from our total net worth. I'll leave a link to this in the description down below, so maybe while I'm going ahead and talking about this first part with those in their 20s, since we don't have a lot of viewers in our 20s, you can be calculating your net worth with this little calculator in the background. Now, it's important to realize a couple of things about this data. First off, I've created graphs for all of the age groups in order to make it a little bit more digestible for y'all, but we'll still need to understand the graphs. So at the bottom, we have our percentiles with the 25th, the 50th, the 75th, as well as the top 1%. And on the left side, we have our average net worth for that age group. Also, this is the most recent data that we have, but the government only releases this data every 3 years, and so this is actually from 2022, but was just recently released, I believe in October or November of this year. So we're gonna go group by group, starting with the 20s, and I'm gonna give you some of my thoughts as to what could impact the net worth of each individual age group. You can see here that the 25th percentile of 18 to 24-year-olds only has $88 of average net worth. This shocked me at first, but then I remembered that many people have student loans that is going to drag this way down. Working our way up, we can see that in the 50th percentile for 18 to 24, they already have a $10,000 net worth, and the top 1% already has a $653,000 net worth. This is incredible to me. This is likely people that started businesses or inherited a lot of money. Working our way into the late 20s with the 25 to 29 group, we can see that the 25th percentile is still working hard on those student loans with a almost $4,000 net worth. And the 50th percentile, your average person has a net worth of around $31,000 at this point. The top 1%, however, has continued to climb, and they are at a net worth of $2 million before they even reach their 30s. Another thing to keep in mind with the 25 to 29 age group is the fact that that is the age that a lot of people start to have their children. And as great as kids are, they are professionals at consuming time and consuming money, meaning that could take a little bit of a hit to your net worth in that age. Moving on to the 30s, we can see that anyone above the 25th percentile is out of that 4-digit mark, which is a great milestone and means that we're working our way up. The 50th percentile of both age groups sits somewhere around $100,000, and the top 1% continues to accelerate, with the 30 to 34 age group being at about 2.5 million. And if you're 35 to 39, the top 1% is already approaching a $5 million net worth. Now here in this age group of the 30s, we see two huge milestones that a lot of people hit, with the 50th percentile hitting their first $100,000 in net worth, which is a huge accomplishment for a lot of people, as well as the fact that a lot of people in their 30s, the average American, will purchase their first home. That's going to impact your net worth as well as make life a little bit easier. We've now moved our way into the 40s. This is the age range that YouTube tells us a lot of y'all are at, and so this might be the range where you start to get a little bit more interested. This is also the spot where we start to see the top 1% really pull away from the rest of individuals. The 25th percentile doesn't change all that much. The 50th percentile goes up a fair amount, with the average for the 45 to 49-year-olds going up to 215,000. But look at that top 1%, with the average 40 to 44-year-old going up to almost $8 million net worth, and the top 1% of 45 to 49-year-olds at almost $9 million in net worth. There could be a couple of factors that have to do with this. Obviously, the top 1% have incredible jobs, but we could also think about things like inheritances starting to come in, especially at the 45 to 49 range, as well as the idea that their kids might be a little bit older, and these are household numbers, meaning if one parent was staying at home to take care of the kids, that parent could be back into working now, therefore increasing the household net worth significantly. Next up, we have the 50s. This is a crucial age group because this is when a lot of other life responsibilities, such as kids, start to go away, and a lot of people start to really focus on building their retirement plan. At this point, the average American, or the 50th percentile, is up to around $300,000 in net worth. The 75th percentile is approaching their first $1 million in net worth, which is obviously a huge accomplishment. And the top 1% of individuals is hovering right around $14 to $15 million in average net worth. One important thing to recognize is that the average retirement age in the US is actually 61 years of age. And so we're going to see on our next graph what the effect of that is. We have now made our way into the 60s, and make sure to stay tuned because we start to see a lot of really interesting trends as we get into the older ages. For example, here in the 60s, for the first time, you can see with the 25th percentile, the ages 60 to 64 actually have a higher net worth than the ages 65 to 69. Obviously, at this age, a lot of people start to slow down their work. Once again, the average retirement age in the United States is 61 years of age, meaning that the lower percentile individuals as well as the higher percentile individuals have both started to stop working. But the biggest difference here is who has prepared themselves better. You can see that the top 1% has still continued to go up in net worth, likely because they've been investing, they've been saving, and they've been buying and paying off things like houses that have continued to grow their net worth even as they've stopped working their day job. And here in the 70s, we see another crucial trend that sort of differentiates people based on their preparation for retirement. You can see those in the lower percentiles, for example, in the 25th percentile, their net worth is still increasing, meaning that they are continuing to work. Whether this be working on their investments, working on their day job, either way, they're still focused on increasing their net worth in order to continue saving for retirement. Meanwhile, you might have noticed those in the top 1% who prepared early have began to experience a little bit of a drop in their net worth. They are now firmly into just enjoying their retirement and not super worried about that. We also see that with the 50th and the 75th percentile. They are sort of beginning to enjoy their retirement and enjoy the fruits of their labors for watching their father and son investing videos when they were younger. And our final group here is those that are in their 80s. They don't categorize these out. They just do an 80 plus category, but you can see that the average person still has around $325,000 in net worth, and the top 1% still sits above 15 million. One thing that's important to keep in mind is that it's never too late to start. If you find yourself in the 25th percentile or even below, it's not too late to fix that. And if you're in the top 1% right now, make sure that you keep going with the good habits that you've created, because it is super easy to let your head start slip. I hope you did go on to enjoy today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. And while you're down there, leave any comments with any suggestions that you might have on how we can improve our video quality, or any topics that you might want to see in the future. But other than that, we'll see you in the next one.